ISO TS 22002-X series, that is technical specification for PRPs, is a very important document or a standard in a compliance or certification for FSSC 22000. Similarly, ISO 22000 also gives the reference and recommendation to comply PRPs according to or based on ISO TS technical specifications. It means that this ISO TS technical specification for PRPs are important for the certification, compliance and training for FSSC 22000 as well as ISO 22000. Do you know, in July 2025, these technical specifications for PRPs have been significantly changed. It means sooner or later FSSC 22000 as well as ISO 22000 will be upgraded with these new PRPs requirements. Let's discuss the things quickly. Although there are so many changes, like the standard is systematically aligned now, it is well structured, well organized, requirements are now well explanatory, user friendly, different clauses are properly aligned now. So all these things we will be discussing in our one-day training course. If you are interested to take and attend that one-day training course, so please contact UCS Global team. But in this video, I have listed 20 major changes in ISO TS 22002-1. What is -1? -1 is the relevant PRPs for food manufacturing. So this video will only cover those major changes in ISO TS 22002-1. In some other video, I will present the changes in PRPs for catering and packaging material. So without further ado, let's begin with the changes. Change number 1. TS technical specification for PRPs are now ISO standards, full-fledged ISO standards. Basically TS has been removed now. TS is no more TS. It's a full-fledged ISO standard. TS basically in ISO technical specification would go through a thorough review process to determine whether it was successful enough for further actions or not. If it is, then it will be converted into the standard. So TS was the pilot project, TS was the stepping stone, and now it is being successful. It has been converted into a ISO standard, ISO requirements. Change number 2. There is a common standard also being established, being developed. That is ISO 22002-100. That is the common PRPs for all the sectors in the food chain, complete supply chain of food. Which means whether it is food manufacturing, whether it is catering, whether it is feed company, whether it is retail, warehouse, transportation, all those sectors has to comply with the common requirement, that is ISO 22002-100. Change number 3. There are relevant PRPs, specific PRPs as well. So for food manufacturing, the relevant PRPs are ISO 22002-1, which specifies complete requirements for PRPs in food manufacturing, but you have to use this standard in conjunction with ISO 22002-100. That is the change number 3. Change number 4. ISO 22002-1 is still the main standard for manufacturing PRP. So do not get confused what to use first, whether to go for ISO 22002-100 compliance or compliance of ISO 22002-1. My recommendation is to follow ISO 22002-1, because when you follow ISO 22002-1, which is the specific and relevant PRPs for food manufacturing, in that standard you will find the statement, and what would be that statement is the requirements in ISO 22002-100 shall apply. So where you find this statement, the requirements in ISO 22002-100 shall apply, then go and check the ISO 22002-100 and follow that requirement. The main standard for the manufacturing is still ISO 22002-1. If you comply with all the requirement of ISO 22002-1, it means that you have complied all the requirement of PRPs. Now the change number 5. ISO 22002-100 has 16 major requirements, major clauses. The same titles you will find in ISO 22002-1 as well. So 16 is in common standard, and 16 with the same title in specific PRPs requirement, that is ISO 22002-1. However, there is one additional requirement in the major clauses, and that is clause number 17, which is rework. Rework is the addition in ISO 22002-1 in clause number 17. Change number 6. Now there are total 17 requirement in ISO 22002-1. Previously it was 18. So one clause has been removed, and what is that clause? Change number 7. Product recall, that is clause number 15 in ISO TS, previous version, has been removed now. It is now covered according to ISO 22000 in FSSC. Change number 8 now. Clauses have been reorganized. Means pest control is now clause number 7. Previously it was clause number 12. So there are some other changes as well, but I have given just one example, that pest control, which was clause number 12 previously, now it is clause number 7. Change number 9. Requirements are retitled. So in this video I am just going to give you one example. For example, design and layout of facilities and workspaces is the new title name. Previously it was layout of premises and workspace. Let's take another example, like storage including warehouse and transport. That is the new title. Previously it was just warehousing. So similarly there are 5 or 6 changes in the standard in the titles. Change number 10. Standard is not now specifying anything anymore. It is more towards general requirements. For example, gloves which are worn for product contact shall be fit for purpose. Now this is the general requirement in new standard. Previously the requirements are like this: use of latex gloves should be avoided. So now standard is not specifying, just giving you the requirement that your gloves which you are worn in a product area, contact surfaces, shall be fit for purpose. Change number 11. Requirements for dispatch, which was totally missing in the previous standard, have been added now in clause storage including warehouse and transport, that is clause number 11. So dispatch has been added and requirements are being added now. Change number 12. Food fraud has been added with food defense. Although in previous version there are some requirements for food defense, but now food fraud has also been added along with food defense, and the clause is clause number 16. Risk assessment and mitigation for food fraud has also been added because when the clause is added, so what to do with that clause? You have to do the risk assessment for food fraud, as well as you have to take some control measures for the food fraud mitigation. Previously, change number 13. Risk assessment and mitigation for food defense is required. In ISO TS, in previous version, it was not required. There are certain control measures required in the standard, but specifically risk assessment and mitigation was not required in the previous version. Now standard requires that risk assessment and mitigation for food defense needs to be carried out by the company. Change number 14. Equipment capability, a new terminology, a new requirement has been added in clause 9.2. Change number 15. Cleaning has been removed from equipment clause, that is clause number 9, because it was and now also already addressed in cleaning clause, that is clause number 13. So cleaning and disinfection clause, which is clause number 13, also talks about cleaning of the equipment. So it was duplication in the previous version. Change number 16. Cleaning and sanitizing is now cleaning and disinfection. So there is a change in the definition. There is not change in the definition. There is different definition of cleaning and sanitizing. Now it is realigned, rephrased, that cleaning and retitled actually cleaning and sanitizing is now cleaning and disinfection. Change number 17, waste disposal has been changed into the title, waste disposal, FLW, food loss and waste, and recycling. So controls required to manage food loss and waste and recycling items. So this is according to the guidance of SDG, which is Sustainable Development Goals of UNO. Requirement for recycling and reuse of material have been added in this clause. Change number 18, prevention from cross-contamination has been added with chemical control. If you see the previous version of ISO TS, you will find prevention from cross-contamination considering physical hazards, allergens, microbial hazards, but chemical hazards was missing. So in this standard now, chemical hazard also been added. Change number 19, illness and injuries are merged together in clause number 14.5. Previously it was two separate clauses. Now it is merged in a single clause. A new requirement is added in personal hygiene, that is visitors and external providers control, which means requirements are guided through the hygiene requirements, reporting and any type of illness and injury, wear protective clothing by the external providers and visitors. It was missing previously. The last point, the last change is that now this ISO 22002-1 standard gives you the examples of food defense measures as well as food fraud mitigation measures in Annexure A and Annexure B. So if you do the risk assessment and apply mitigation plans, so please consider these Annexure A and Annexure B for a proper mitigation plan. So these are 20 major changes in ISO 22002-1. We will provide you the further details in our one-day training course for PRPs in this ISO 22002-1, -4-2 standards. Contact on the number provided below in the description. Thank you so much for watching this video.